So let's get going, and welcome back to the virtual Free From Food Festival. I hope you're really enjoying all those delicious products that are in the online store, and that you really enjoyed the presentation from Vicky Montague this morning. This is new for all of us, and so please excuse any teething problems, but we're really excited to still be going ahead with this and inviting you all to our virtual cozy living room to meet some of our producers. So we've got 3 producers today, and we're going to start by meeting Gabriella from an amazing nut blend company. She makes the most delicious nut butters, and they are completely nutritious, contain no refined sugar, and so we are just delighted to welcome her and hear all about her product.
Hi everyone, so I'm Gabriella, the founder of Nut Blend. I have to say this is the most bizarre, surreal thing. I feel like I'm talking to people, but I can't see you, so I'm waving from afar virtually. As Naomi said, we make nutritious nut butters. So our mission around Nut Blend, we launched because we want to provide feel-good energy and naturally satisfy without the sugar high. So I'm sure many of you can relate that sometimes you can have something to, I don't know, energize you and you get a nice sugar high, but then subsequently you will crash. So we came up with these delicious recipes that contain just nuts and a pinch of spice, so nothing else. And with that, we intend to give you exactly the same satisfaction, some sort of indulgence as well, and depending on what you're craving. So as you can see here, we have 4 different flavors. This is also very bizarre new for me. I feel like I'm a weather woman. So with our flavors, they're all completely unique. So whether you like cinnamon and hazelnut, or cacao and cashew, or coconut macadamia, and finally our praline with maca and pecans, we have a flavor for you, which you can buy from our shop. And you can put them on your toast, with your oats, with smoothies, porridge, whatever you fancy. Again, we add 0 type of sugar or sweetness, so not even healthy sugars, so not refined or unrefined. Literally, for example, our praline is pecans, maca, crunchy almonds, nothing else. And in fact, this year, our indulgent and the praline at the back won a Great Taste Award, which we are super thrilled about. And yeah, really hope that you enjoy trying them. You can head to our store, which is on the Free From Festival website. But otherwise, if you have any questions, please pop up on our chat, email me, whatever you fancy. Yeah, reach out and get in touch. And I hope you enjoy trying them, or at least looking at our website.
Okay, thank you, Gabriella. So can you just tell me about the different flavors? Because I've tried some of these, and it's amazing actually to me that they don't have any sweetness in, because there's something about the pairing of the nuts or the spices that you use that gives them a natural sweetness. So can you just tell us about what that is that gives that natural sweetness?
Yeah, absolutely, of course. So fundamentally, one of the biggest things, in fact, one of the biggest challenges I always find, is finding that perfect balance of flavors without having to add any sweetener. So like with any of our flavors, we always have the base nut of almonds. We then find a complementary nut to add, whether it's hazelnuts, macadamias, or pecans, or cashews. And then we use just natural spice, so cinnamon or maca powder, which tastes a bit caramelly from Peru, or cacao, which is just lovely and rich and deep and chocolatey. We just find that perfect pairing, make sure the quantity balances out, and that way you can get that natural satisfaction. You get that same feel-good energy high, but there's just no crash. You keep riding the wave up.
They are incredibly delicious.
Oh, thank
So,
you.
and do you roast the nuts first?
We do, yeah. So that gives it that really nice, smoky, rich flavor, which we think just brings out all of the delicious flavors.
I think, does it bring some umami? Because umami is one of the things, isn't it? While palates are always looking for salty, sweet, you know,
Mm.
savory, bitter, and umami in anything makes it more nutritious. And so you feel much more satisfied, you
Yeah,
know.
definitely. And I think there is that extra oomph of when you roast them. Like I always think it adds a little bit of like a natural saltiness. So even though we don't add any salt, there's something about when you roast it, it gets that extra level of smoky, yeah, richness and that like butteriness to nuts, which I think when they're roasted just takes it to the next level, delicious flavor.
God, you're just making me want to grab some toast and spread some on.
Me too, me too.
So what's your favorite way to eat them?
Personally, I go between two. So I love it in my oats in the morning. So I make it in a bowl with fruit. My personal favorite is like indulgent with cacao nibs, extra cherries, mix it all up, and it just tastes delicious.
Mm.
Otherwise, I am a sucker for just eating it with a spoon or dunking dark chocolate into it. They're
Oh
my
my
go-tos
God.
most nights.
That is a revelation.
Mm.
That's
Literally
great.
every night, I'm like, oh, which one do I want?
Yeah. Yeah, there's something about nuts and chocolate that makes both better, doesn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Um, and which one would you recommend as your kind of entry level, which is the one maybe your favorite or the one that people say that's the one?
I'd have to say, even though I am biased and love them all, our praline probably is the best seller. So that one with literally pecans, the maca powder, and almonds, that is it. So because it's just three simple ingredients, you can trust it. It will guarantee satisfaction. But it did also, yeah, it won the Great Taste Award, which I think just it kind of sums it all up because it is really great tasting. But you get the nuttiness, the crunchiness, the sweetness. It's a game changer in nut butter.
That's good. You got a crow about your achievements as well. So it won the Great Taste Awards, is that right?
Yes, yes. So the praline and our new indulgence, we've actually also improved our indulgent recipe, and that's what got submitted. So we're really excited to share that soon. But at the moment, at the moment, our indulgent is still delicious. So you can buy that one on our website. But yeah, watch this space because the
God,
new one coming out did also get a Great Taste Award.
how exciting. God, I can't wait to taste it. And I have to say that I've had the praline and that is just delicious. And the great thing about the maca is it's got that sweet flavor, but it's also an
Mm,
adaptogen. So it's supporting
mm,
your adrenal
exactly.
glands, which if you
Yes.
are someone who has sweet cravings, it's actually a really good way to satisfy that without upsetting your blood
Mm,
sugar. So it
exactly.
becomes a medicine, doesn't it?
It is. Yeah,
Or something you have to eat every day.
yeah, exactly. It's so good. More of a reason to eat it every day.
Exactly, exactly. Well, look, that's all the questions I've got. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us before we move on to our next producer?
I don't think so. I was gonna say, well, other than that, we are actually going as well through a bit of a exciting brand change at the moment. So I hope everyone who is watching this sticks around, sign up to our newsletter as well, because these labels will soon be changing, and we're really excited about what we've got planned to launch in the new year. So again,
Brilliant.
watch this space. But yeah, I hope you enjoy the festival. And if you have any questions, again, please just reach out and let me know.
And where can we find you online? So you've got a website. Are you an Instagrammer or a tweeter?
Both. So, well, not Twitter as much, but Instagram and our website. So you can find us at nutblend.com, and our Instagram handle is at nutblend.
I look forward to seeing you there.
Oh, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Gabriella.
Thank you.
So we're going to move on now and talk to Lucia from SACO Superfoods. And this is a family business based in Salford. And they work with small scale women producers on the Ivory Coast to bring you amazing produce, essentially, things that you can use in your kitchen to make your food more delicious and more nutritious. A lot of it is immune supporting. It's going to do good for your gut health. It's delicious little snacky things to eat that aren't going to hurt your blood sugar. So there's so many amazing products that they have. I'm really looking forward to hearing Lucia talk about them. And I think she should be just about ready to come up.
Hello everyone. Hello Naomi. Thank you so much for the lovely presentation. I really appreciate it. So my name is Lucia. I am a co-founder of SACO Superfoods. We are a family business, as Naomi has mentioned, based here in Salford. We work directly with the small cooperatives of men and women in the Ivory Coast. And then by that, I mean my husband and I literally traveling in the remote areas of the Ivory Coast to source amazing natural ingredients. It all started because Frank and I are of African descent, so we always wanted to do something to give back to our community back home, although at first we weren't sure how. So Frank's dad still lives in the Ivory Coast, so we often travel back home to visit him and spend time with the family. In one of his trips, Frank mentioned that to his dad that I suffer from bloating. So my father-in-law gave him some ginger that we now call the ginger flakes, and then for me to try and see whether they would help. So Frank comes back with the ginger flakes, which looks like this. I try them, and then I realized that not only I love them, but then they've been actually helping me with my bloating, my indigestion. From there, we started simply offering them at dinner parties to family and friends. They loved it too, so we decided, okay, we've got something here maybe. So after another trip, we decided to go and meet those producers in person. And then what we have found is that these amazing producers, and not only they had a passion for the land, very hardworking people, the only limit they had and the frustration they also had was that the market to which they have access is so limited, it's only small and local. And then, of course, by having this limitation, they weren't able to grow their businesses enough and support their families. That's why we thought, okay, you know what, why don't we become this bridge whereby we go to these remote areas, we meet these producers, and we get directly the products from them, and then present it here to our consumer in the UK and Europe. So we started with 6 kilos with our own pocket money. And then today we manage to source hundreds of kilos every month. So of course, this has allowed us to have a direct impact on the livelihood. And then of course, our customers get to enjoy delicious, nutritious products. So our range currently includes the ginger flakes, as I mentioned. We are very proud about these ginger flakes simply because, I don't know if you can see them properly, because they are a different type of ginger. They are not only dried, they are roasted with a tiny bit of raw cane sugar as well. And it's something that you can nibble on. You can infuse it in hot water to make your ginger teas. You can add it into your porridge, your smoothies. You can use them in cooking and baking. Or yes, you can simply infuse it in hot water, as I mentioned before. The difference between this ginger and the other gingers available in the market is the fact that because it's a different variety of ginger, it tends to be more concentrated, so more pungent, but also more potent in terms of health benefits as well. People normally use it for controlling, as I mentioned before, their digestive system, but then also for muscle and joint pain, arthritis, and any sorts of inflammation, really. We also have the hibiscus flowers. Now, these are simply petals that dried naturally under the sun, as you can see over here. I hope you can. And then it's something, again, that you would simply infuse in hot water to make your hibiscus tea. Now, the hibiscus tea is commonly known for keeping cholesterol and high blood pressure under control. And it's got a very nice, almost tangy flavor, which of course you can have plain, or you can add whatever you fancy to sweeten it. So agave syrup or just a squeeze of fresh orange, really. We also have some baobab powder. Now, the baobab powder is quite special. It's simply the pulp of the baobab fruits. The baobab fruit comes from the baobab tree, which is a centenary African tree. It's very rich in vitamin C, potassium, and calcium, and is normally used to boost your immune system, to clean your liver, and also to reduce the blood sugar level as well. Now, you can tell by testing it that it's rich in vitamin C because of it's quite citrusy on its taste. And then it's something that blends nicely to your smoothies, your porridge. You can also just make a hot drink with it by blending it, mixing it with hot water or cold water. And you can also be very creative with it. You can use it in your cooking and baking. We sometimes add it on a pancake mix when the children are not looking, for example, just to make them a little bit more nutritious. We also have the moringa powder. Now, the moringa powder is one of our latest addition to the range, and then it's simply leaves, these leaves over here, naturally dried and grounded into powder. It's a quite complete leaf in terms of health benefits because it's rich again in most minerals and vitamins. It's used mostly as a powerful anti-inflammatory, again, very effective for any sorts of inflammation like arthritis, muscle and joint pain. But then it's also, because it's also very rich in calcium, people normally use it to keep the health, the bone healthier. Again, it's something very simple that you can integrate into your healthy diet by adding them into your smoothies, your porridge, blending them into water. Again, another tip that I have is of adding half a teaspoon in your pesto. When you make your pesto, you can just add a little bit of the moringa, or we also add them in a salad dressing, for example, just to add that extra nutrition. In terms of flavor, it's got a nice spinachy flavor as well. Which is quite pleasant to the palate, is not as pungent or overpowering. Then our final product, again, I'm sorry, I'm not sure if you can see it, is the organic dried mango. And then the mango is a naturally sweet and no sugar or sulfates are added into it. And it's something that you can enjoy as a healthy snack or something that you can use it to sweeten your porridge, your smoothies, or your granola. So yes, so these are the products of our range, and then yes.
They sound amazing. I'm particularly interested in the moringa. So that's something I've not come across at all, really. It's not something that we grow in the UK. It's very specific to the Ivory Coast, I think. Is that right?
Absolutely. So basically, the moringa is a tree that grows in most subtropical countries, including the Ivory Coast. So yes, it does need a tropical climate in order to grow properly. And then the great thing about the moringa tree is that it's all edible, so you can actually consume every single part of the tree. What we have here in the shop is the leaf in particular. And then the reason why we love the leaves, the powder in particular, is because the whole leaf is grounded, which means that you don't waste anything really. Another thing about the moringa is that when you first start using it, because when you get a very good quality moringa powder, because it's pure and then it's so effective, you need to make sure that you start with small dosages. Simply because you have to let your body adapt to it first, because it does have detoxing effects.
Okay, so it's like any medicine, isn't it? It's a food, but it's also a medicine. And so you need to treat it with respect, because it is going to have an effect. It's not just something you're adding, hoping it will make you feel better. It's going to have a big effect. And so you
Absolutely.
just work up, gradually to make sure that and it's about learning to listen to your body, isn't it? Part of using these adaptogens and these natural medicines puts you back in touch with yourself. It puts you back in charge of your health. So that's, how people can actually make a real positive benefit to their lives, is by using stuff like this, which is fantastic. I've not really used much baobab myself, but and I realize I haven't told people who I am. Maybe I'll do that in a minute when we've finished asking you about you. But in my work as a nutritionist and specializing in gut health, baobab is one of the things that it's known that particularly hunter-gatherers often use to support their immune system through good gut health. And so it's not just the vitamin C, there's so much in the baobab, isn't there? It's that's supporting your gut microbes. And that, I think, makes it a real amazing all-round thing to add, you know, is that you're supporting yourself right from the very soil of your being, if you like, which starts with your gut. I also think, sorry, go on.
No, but please go on. What I wanted to say is that you're absolutely right. Baobab is one of the fruits that we are now rediscovering. And it's a very strange for us personally, as people that, most people who have African origin, because it's something that we grew up with. And then even in our own land, we tend to underestimate or not know what are the benefits. You only know that when you have a stomachache or when you feel a little bit lethargic, your mom gives you some baobab soup to have, but then you don't really relate it. So it's very interesting to see how people are now spending more time researching on it, and then you know, and then finding out that well, it's a natural and easy ingredients that can be included into your healthy eating.
And it's about adding things in, isn't it? It's not about taking things away. We're told, don't eat this, don't eat that. And actually what you're saying is you can add to your whatever you're eating now. It doesn't matter. It's going to get better if you add these things, you know. And that's what I love about these products, is they're just supportive, you know. They're really great to add in. The thing about baobab, though, that I've found is you do have to start slowly with it. If you're not used to baobab, it's like if you suddenly eat lots of beans or onions, or it can be quite a musical effect.
Absolutely. And then again, it's all about moderation, isn't it? And it's all about listening to your body. So I personally say, you know, start small. And then again, another misleading thing is sometimes we feel that just because they are natural ingredients, they are magical pills that we can take to solve our problems. But then again, it's not the case. It's all about, yes, these are natural ingredients that you can include into your diet, and then see how your body reacts and how your body adapts to them as well.
It's part of taking care of yourself, isn't it? And that includes lots of different things, not just what you eat. But yeah, I'm so excited about them. Love hibiscus too. It's such a beautiful thing I mean, I've mostly had it with tea, and then at New Year we put hibiscus in champagne.
Exactly.
So it's not a health food maybe, but it's lovely it's just such a beautiful flower. You drop one into the champagne and it opens up, you know. It's lovely.
Absolutely.
I'm interested about the ginger flakes too. Is it just dried ginger, or is it processed in some other way?
Yes, so basically the ginger flakes is the only product that we have at the moment that is slightly processed. So basically what is done is we naturally, we grate it first. So you actually have the African ginger root, which is grated by hand, by the way. So it's not no machine are used or can be used to obtain the same results. And then naturally dried under the sun, and then roasted with a specific technique with the raw cane sugar. So now the amount of raw cane sugar is quite minimum, but then it's still there. So of course, if you have to control your sugar intake, you might want to read the label and make sure that it's right for you. But then, as I mentioned before, the benefits of the ginger, of this ginger root, is quite incredible, especially when you are used to drink ginger tea or use ginger in any form. Really, the feedback that we get from our customers is, we've never tried the ginger. Usually, when we drink the ginger tea, for example, it hardly tastes of ginger, or sometimes it's always mixed with something else, so you don't really taste the ginger. But then when you infuse the ginger flakes, you feel the heat and the flavor of the ginger. And that's why, as I mentioned before, we were very excited when in September it was announced that the ginger flakes won the 3-star Great Taste Award. And then, of course, it's one of those things, as the judges put it, if you don't like ginger, stay away from it. If you love ginger, you are going to appreciate it and you will be hooked for life.
Yeah, sounds like to me like the perfect Christmas present. I can't think of anyone who wouldn't appreciate that, you know. It's delicious, and it's gonna, you know, it's gonna do your circulation in the winter. It's gonna help when you've overindulged at Christmas, you know, it's gonna cover everything. So put it on your Christmas list, I think.
Definitely, definitely. And they come in these convenient small packages which you can easily fit into your hampers.
Yes, into a stocking. Perfect. Exactly. Well, Lucia, it's been absolutely wonderful to meet you. I hope that people are flocking to your shop because it's full of beautiful, beautiful things. You are beautiful, and it's been really lovely to meet you.
Well, thank you so much, Naomi and Margarita, for having me. I really, really appreciate it. And then, yes, feel free to check our shop on the Free From Festival Marketplace. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Just use the handle SACO Superfoods. You will find us there. And then if you have time, please subscribe to our newsletter as well on sacosuperfoods.com. I would really appreciate it.
Brilliant. That's so lovely. Have a brilliant rest of the day.
Thank you.
I'm just going to tell you briefly, because I should have done this at the beginning. I'm going to tell everyone who I am. So I'm Naomi Devlin, and I'm a nutritionist, and I also teach at River Cottage in Devon. My specialism is gluten-free, because I have celiac disease myself, and so that's why I started teaching gluten-free, because when I first started going gluten-free, there was just awful stuff out there to eat. And that's why I particularly get excited about this festival and about the online store, because I just think finding nutritious stuff that is inherently gluten-free, free of sugar, that you know is safe, is so amazing for people like me who have to think about it. And obviously, if you don't have to think about it, it's just a way of expanding your already delicious diet. But for me, it is particularly moving to have a group of people who are like-minded and thinking about this sort of thing to gather, even if it is virtually, and I can't hug you like I normally would, I'm a big hugger, that it feels like a virtual hug, just to have people, you know, joining in some way. I find Instagram is fantastic for me, and that's how I reach out to people. And I know that the Free From Festival, it's Free From Events, have a great presence on Instagram, so it's worth checking them out there, and you'll find all sorts of announcements and countdowns to events there, which can get you excited, and so you don't miss out on things like this. But for me, I'm just here because I want to support Margarita, who runs the Free From Festivals, because she is such an amazing joiner together and promoter of small businesses like the Nut Blend and like SACO, who are doing amazing work and, you know, beavering away, making these incredible products that we all need to have access to. So that's me. Anyway, so now, unfortunately, our last producer couldn't join us, and that's the Green Sisters. Founders are Rena and Gita, and they make gluten-free, vegan, in fact, 40 major allergen-free, which is incredible. I mean, there's literally nobody that can't eat these things. And they make snacks and samosas, and with an Indian kind of flavor to them.